Welcome back to another YouTube video. So in today's video, I want to touch on a huge achievement at my agency Social Optimum for one of my clients. We've just surpassed over £1 million in ad spend. Let me give that a refresh. Just so you can see the numbers all there, we've just hit over £1 million in ad spend on Meta for this particular client. And to be honest, it's not just a huge achievement for my client, it's also a huge achievement for my agency. You know, I started my agency back when I was 16, 17 years old. And, back then, to look back then when I was working with clients who weren't even willing to allocate over £1,000 ad spend into their Facebook ad account, it's crazy to think I'm now working with clients who are spending, upwards of £1 million in Meta alone. This doesn't account for Google as well on top of this. So crazy to think. And I just wanted to come onto YouTube just to give a few tips and a bit of motivation to all of you, because I know there's a ton of you that follow me on my Instagram, Matty Digital UK, and you also subscribe to my YouTube channel. You're trying to get all the ins and outs of starting your own marketing agency. You want a few tips, you want a bit of motivation. And to be honest, there's a lot of fake gurus out there. A lot of these YouTubers, they will give you fancy strategies on how to sign clients, or they'll give you fancy tips. But at the end of the day, they're not actively running an agency, and they've not actually run an agency to the level that I've ran mine. And as you can see, all the proofs here, this is literally just one client. I'm actually going to jump into another ad account, another client, because we're about to hit 500,000 in sales for this client at an 24x return on ad spend. As you can see, we spent just over £19,000, generated them 469,000 in sales. So huge achievement for this client as well. And in today's video, I just want to give you some advice, really, give you some tips and some key pointers, because I see a lot of individuals nowadays, starting their agencies, and they get a bit disheartened because they sign on a client and it doesn't go as planned. Because what you need to understand is, when I started my agency that was back in 2018 now, we're in 2024. So back in 2018, that was over 6-7 years ago when I first started my agency. Back then, I was signing on clients and there were points where I just couldn't deliver results for them. I did everything I could within the ad account. I was frustrated. I just didn't know where I was going wrong. With some of these clients, I'd given them promises. I said, don't worry, I'll be able to get you a 5x, 10x return. And it just didn't happen for them. And this is why I want to come onto YouTube and just give a bit of an insight into what it's like, because so many individuals out there, they start their agencies, they sign on clients and they just can't deliver results. But what you need to understand is having a full holistic approach on your marketing is what's going to deliver these kind of results for your clients. We haven't spent over £1 million in ad spend on Meta and not done any marketing elsewhere. The only reason we've been able to spend this money is because we have a holistic approach and we're covering all areas of their marketing, whether that's their email flows, whether that's their content creation, their Google ads. Everything's in flow and connected together. Nowadays you can't work with a business and just run Facebook and Instagram ads and expect to start seeing 10-20x returns like this. It's just not going to happen. The reason why we're able to get these results is by having a system in place and having a structure within the ad account, but also structure within their marketing campaign as a whole and just their brand in general. Because a lot of people, they'll run some Facebook ads and they'll wonder why they can't consistently hit 5x returns. Because I see a lot of agencies out there, and that's the reason why so many brands jump from agency to agency. Generally, they jump from agency to agency is because they might hit 1 month with an agency where they're getting a 8x return. The next month it drops to 3x and they just think, oh, this agency isn't doing the job right, and they get rid of them. But the reason why these agencies can't deliver these kind of results is because they haven't got structure and not helping within that holistic approach and actually helping at that level. Because I see this all the time. I jump into brand accounts, I'll give audits of brand accounts, and it just happens way too often where agencies will just run the Facebook ads. They won't cover any other areas. Like, to give you an example, this ad account, as you can see, I'm not going to mention the brand just because they're pretty big, but as you can see, we've got tons of different campaigns running. You're probably wondering, why have we spent £37,000 on link clicks? It's a certain type of campaign that we're running, sending to a landing page, sending to a landing form, and we've got all these different kind of campaigns running. As you can see, this one's focused on free plays. These ones are focused on website purchases. And then this one, as you can see, is focused on website registrations. So we've got all these different campaigns running. They've all got different KPIs, different objectives. But then again, it's just that holistic approach. And that's how we're able to generate this client, the kind of revenue that we do generate them. Again, I can't really show you any specific stats here just because probably it won't look so good in the ad account. But in the back end, the reason why we're able to spend £1 million is because we're generating them the kind of return where we can spend £1 million. So this is why it's just so, it's so important to have an approach where you look at all avenues of their marketing. And that's why I keep stressing to agency owners now coming into the space, don't just go out there and learn Facebook ads. You need to understand marketing as a whole. There's too many of these copy-paste agencies, these agencies that buy a course and they think they can get to 10K a month pretty quickly. It just doesn't work like that, okay? You need to understand marketing as a whole. I spent a long time in the trenches, and if you haven't watched my video and my story about how I started my agency 6-7 years ago and how I built it to a 6-figure agency, definitely recommend going to watch that video. It's somewhere on my channel, just talking about my story to 6 figures. And honestly, you just need to understanding all areas of marketing. Like when I go onto sales calls with these clients, when I'm jumping on, catch-up calls, if I outsourced all of my business and I just had people helping me with Facebook ads and I didn't have a clue about Facebook ads, it's just not going to work. It is not going to work, and you're going to struggle. I'm telling you now, you are going to struggle to find a contractor that generally knows what they're doing, can deliver results, and is willing to work for your agency when you probably don't really know what you're doing. It's just not going to happen. Understand this. When you start working with your clients, if you're jumping in all the catch-up calls and you're the face of the brand and they start asking you technical questions about the ad account and you've got no idea and you have to keep relying on your contractor might as well start his own agency. And that's what's happening at the moment. Most of these contractors, most of these individuals that know what they're doing with ads, they run their own agencies. They have their own marketing team. They don't go work for an agency with no experience. So I couldn't give any more advice to someone just getting started than go and learn marketing as a whole. Go and learn Facebook ads, go and learn Google ads. I don't mean you have to learn it in depth for years and then start your agency. You can learn it on the side, but just understand the basics. Because when you're jumping on these sales calls, most business owners, most brand owners, they understand Facebook ads, they understand Google ads, and that's the problem nowadays. Everyone thinks this is just such an easy cash flow model where they can just start an agency, send some DMs, send some emails, and all of a sudden they're going to have 10, 20 clients. It just doesn't happen, okay? It doesn't happen. Business owners, they've probably worked with agencies before. They probably understand Google ads, they understand Facebook ads. It's just not going to happen, okay? Spend some time learning marketing as a whole. I spent a good year working with a company, literally managing all of their marketing as a whole. I understand business as a whole from working with them, and I learned quite a lot, and that was at the age of 17 years old. So, again, spend the time learning marketing, because when I jump on sales calls as well, sometimes I will be pitching for Meta ads, I'll be pitching for Facebook and Instagram ads, but they'll be asking me questions about SEO. They'll be asking me questions about content creation. Even if I'm not going to be actually delivering that service, I still understand these areas. I'm still able to give them advice. I'm still able to help them in these areas. And that's where a lot of agencies and marketers just getting started, they fail because they jump onto these sales calls and they don't know anything. Again, I'm able to give reassurance. I'm able to give advice in all areas of their marketing approach. I can help with all areas of their brand. And that's where you need to understand. If you want to be ahead of the game and you want to be on one step ahead of these other agencies, you're going to have to spend some time learning marketing as a whole. So you're probably wondering, Matty, where on earth can I learn marketing? Where on earth can I learn ads? Again, there's so many books out there. There's so many YouTube videos. There's so many courses out there. There's mentors out there. I've personally invested well over 5 figures into courses. Obviously, be careful who you're buying from. Again, I can't stress how many. That's why I literally jumped onto YouTube. Some of you know my journey. Been building an agency for 6, 7 years now. Still actively running my agency, Social Optimum, but the problem with the agency space, you get a lot of these guys who they'll build an agency after a year or two, they're suddenly just selling courses. Most of you can see my journey. I've literally actively only been running an agency for six years now. And over the last year, I've been sort of working on my personal brand, trying to actually help agencies. And again, I luckily, I reap the awards from that as well. But again, I'm still helping agency owners. Aside from that, I'm working on my agency, Social Optimum. So I just want people to understand that. And that's why I've come out with my school community agency booster. So if some of you are running an agency at the moment, you're looking to build it up, you want some tips, you want some real life experience. And to be honest, every week I drop videos in there. So I'm going to be dropping videos into the group just about my experience, building my agency, and also just active, what's happening with my agency on a day-to-day basis, some of my systems, some of my infrastructure, all of that you can learn from the group. So I've got quite a nice community going at the moment. I'll drop the link below. It's a school community Obviously, there is a price with it. It's a monthly price. You can join the community, and then I do have sort of a upper program within that, where it's course based with programs, different modules, different videos on all areas of marketing. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it gave you a bit of an insight into what you need to be working on. And to be honest, more than anything, I just wanted to make today's video to give you some motivation. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I am certainly not the smartest person. If I can do this with my agency, build an agency to 6 figures and to get it to the point where it is now, you certainly can as well. So I definitely am not the smartest person. Dropped out of school, as some of you know my story. I dropped out of school, started my agency at 16, worked for a year at a company doing their marketing until the age of 17, 18. Then that's where I went full-time into Social Optimum, and I've been doing it ever since. And I've been traveling around the world with my agency, with my laptop, to the point where it is at now where we're turning over quite a lot of money per month, and I'm still going to always run my agency Social Optimum. So regardless of me making these YouTube videos, regardless of me coming out with my course, coming out with my program and the community that I have, I am always going to be running Social Optimum, running my agency. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to help all of you guys that you're able to assign clients off the back end of my advice, back end of my tips, my systems, my infrastructure. So hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, please comment below in the YouTube channel any videos you want to see, and please drop a follow on my Instagram, Matty Digital UK. Always posting lots of valuable insight on my stories and on my reels. So as always, go give that follow, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.